Drake, OVO, their bot army, Akademiks, and every other clown fighting for a trophy in the Hall of Eternal Lameness. Things spiral fast. If you're ready to witness how Aubrey dragged his entire crew into the deepest, dustiest pit they've ever fallen into, and what they're doing right now while convinced they finally landed their gotcha moment, strap in. Because this mess, it only gets uglier. We're breaking down the grimy little games Drake's been running and what this entire situation really exposes. And honestly, once you see what's been happening behind the scenes, you're never looking at him the same way again. This is the type of reveal that makes you pause and think, damn, Drake's been moving like certified walking trash in ways that shouldn't even be possible. Make sure you smash that like and hit subscribe because what we're diving into right now, it's loser behavior on a level so low that even we haven't gone this deep before. And all of it sparked by the same tired issue. Drake can't shut his mouth. He can't take an L quietly. He has to keep poking. And every single time he does, it backfires harder. So yeah, hit that like and subscribe now because from here on out, the Drake stans are gonna get emotional. Whatever they try to pull won't change a thing. Now, let's get into what sparked this latest episode of Chronic Loser Behavior. It all kicked off when Twitter dropped a new update showing the region tied to every account on the platform. And that's where the chaos started. The second people saw the locations behind a bunch of major pages, especially in hip-hop, it became crystal clear that a lot of these outlets not even based in America. Some accounts have been acting like they're stateside when they're absolutely not. And look, there is a real conversation worth having about people faking where they're from, cosplaying identities in cultures like Halloween costumes. That sets a weird and honestly troubling precedent. But as usual, the biggest squad of losers, Drake, OVO, Akademiks, the whole dusty legion of lames, saw this update and instantly spiraled. They've already lost every debate, every moment, every single time Drake opens his mouth or responds to another rapper because he just can't compete where he's supposed to. So of course, the keyboard warriors had to jump in and do what they always do. Even though half the major OVO pages are from places we don't even have time to list, they started pumping out bizarre edits and collages targeting Kendrick Lamar pages and anyone supporting him who wasn't based in America. They tried staging this big dramatic gotcha moment, claiming everyone backing Not Like Us or calling out Drake's identity issues in hip-hop actually bots, fakes, paid machines. And because some of those pages were based in India, things took a turn, a weird one. And this is where Drake, as the ringleader of his fan base, stepped into something truly reckless. His response? Immature, irresponsible, embarrassing, pathetic even, for him. Now the Drake stans have spent the last 2 days pretending the whole beef magically flipped in Drake's favor. They're acting like Kendrick's entire support system, every boost, every positive moment, every shred of momentum he had somehow came from Indian bots cosplaying the culture, as they love to phrase it, all while their own fan base sits in the exact same situation. And the funniest part? This issue is way bigger than rap beef. It touches deeper conversations, serious topics, but they don't care about any of that. They just want something, anything that makes them feel like they didn't lose every single round. And that's exactly why we're here. And this isn't just jokes anymore. The groupthink coming from these people has sunk to a level that's honestly embarrassing. They're passing around some nasty stuff. So nasty, I'm not even getting into the full details. But the way they're talking about entire groups of people, straight up disgusting. And things have spiraled completely out of control. You see this right here? They keep circulating images like this non-stop. And now they're using the simple fact that Kendrick Lamar has fans around the world, not just in America, as an excuse to push the same hateful nonsense. That's the whole angle, nothing more. So where does Drake slide into this? Well, after watching his fan pages grab onto this and try crafting whatever desperate gotcha they need to flip the results of the beef and make him look like he didn't lose at every turn, Drake has stepped in by doing what he does best lately, quietly co-signing the mess. He's been liking and boosting any post that tears down Kendrick Lamar and his fan base in this completely false narrative. And the worst part?
He's feeding into posts that spread the ugliest lies you could push about whole groups of people. Take a look at this one. One of the loser Drake pages posted something saying TDE's most influential Twitter account, which claimed to be a black man from Compton, was actually based in India. Then they add, this page used to deny Drake's blackness. And with Drake liking this, plus the generated image of Kendrick next to a lineup of AI versions of people from India, things only get uglier and more hateful. His endorsement, basically a green light for even worse behavior. And now with Drake's name showing up under more and more of this garbage, the floodgates have opened. The Drake stans are posting some truly awful things. And honestly, the only reason I'm showing these is so you can see just how nasty this whole crowd has gotten. This is what they're pushing. It's disgusting. It's hateful. It targets people who did absolutely nothing besides talk about music. And watching Drake engage with these generated slot machine posts, the ones spitting out the most hateful ideas possible, says everything. It's not even subliminal at this point. He's publicly reinforcing it. Meanwhile, the Drake fanbase is running around using this discovery that a handful of people talking about hip-hop weren't based in America and pretended they were as fuel for their smear campaign. And the funniest part? Drake's fans have done the exact same thing. They're guilty of the same behavior they're screaming about. But that's not the point for them anymore. They're not here for logic or facts or anything resembling honesty. They just want an angle. And they're clinging to it by spreading stuff like this, which speaks for itself at this point. There's no need to explain how hateful and unnecessary it is. So now we're seeing the bigger picture. For Drake, his fans, and every machine that pumps out the propaganda he leans on, this isn't about music or beef or even truth. It's about ego. It's about a man so rattled by a loss that he's willing to publicly align himself with hateful, humiliating nonsense aimed at entire countries just to feel like he won something. And that tells you everything.
Well, they fumbled so badly that this is where we are now. Drake's big moves are things like this. And honestly, when you look at where he stood a year ago, even 2 years ago, compared to what he's doing today, it's impossible not to see the drop. The fall-off is wild. He's acting pathetic out in the open. And the entire OVO community he keeps amplifying is right there with him, cheerleading the nonsense. They're running around claiming that this tiny detail, which they've blown up into a full-blown lie, somehow proves Kendrick Lamar faked everything in the beef, that he never had real success, that nothing was genuine, and now the J. Cole fans are jumping in saying Port Antonio aged so well and it told everyone the truth, which, can we please stop? It's almost more annoying than Drake himself. Hearing that corny J. Cole song get recycled as facts when he's clearly just projecting jealousy, no matter how much he hides behind the nice guy routine, is unbearable. And the Cole stans acting like they're prophets? Tiresome. But speaking of annoying, it didn't end there. One of the most irritating voices in this entire mess, right next to Cupcake Drake, is his longtime buddy, the DoorDash Hall of Famer himself, DJ Akademiks. And with what he said about this situation, he's somehow managed to outdo his own record for the weirdest, most disgusting commentary yet. I'm just going to play what he said because trying to explain it doesn't do justice to how awful it is. So brace yourselves. This is audio trash at its purest. He starts ranting about Twitter's new feature that shows where accounts are based, acting like the revelation of locations has shaken the streets. Then he goes on about people who once told him he didn't get the culture and says these accounts were pretending to be from Compton, pro-Kendrick, pro-FBA, anti-Drake, all while supposedly tweeting from India, Iraq, Bangladesh, Dagestan. Then he calls them K-bots, imitates accents, makes curry jokes, talks about cows, goats, and all sorts of hateful nonsense. He claims 99.9% of Kendrick's Twitter is from Mumbai, India, and the Middle East. Says people in Pakistan are pretending to bump Kendrick. Tells Drake to fire that guy and wraps it up with more stereotypes and cheap shots about Saudi Arabia and rubbing mud on their face. And there it is. The whole problem is on full display. You can hear how irresponsibly Akademiks talks, how he takes a legitimate issue, people pretending to be from somewhere they're not, and mutates it into the nastiest pile of hate. He's not addressing the real point at all. He's spiraling into disgusting stereotypes about people who did nothing but talk about hip-hop online. None of this is about identity or internet authenticity anymore. It's about bitterness, delusion, and the fact that Kendrick Lamar beat Drake in the rap beef, cleanly and publicly. That's what's eating them alive. That's what all this flailing is about. And watching Akademiks run their mouths like this while all the Drake fans clap along like the same hive-minded losers they've been the entire time, it tells you everything.
It's brought me to one conclusion, and honestly, we've reached a point where it needs to be said exactly as it is. I don't care how it sounds, I don't care who gets upset, and I'm not sugarcoating anything. Everything's off the table now. So back to the Drake fans, the Drake stans, the OVO crowd, anyone proudly calling themselves one of October's very own losers. Let's be serious for a moment. What you've shown, from Drake at the top all the way down to the lowest member of the pack, is that this entire group might be the most pathetic collection of people ever assembled under a shared banner. Forget not liking Kendrick Lamar for a second. Forget trying to twist everything he does into something negative. Sure, if you're losing constantly and watching the other side win repeatedly, I guess from a bruised ego perspective, you try to bend reality to feel better. That part almost makes sense. But you didn't stop at painting Kendrick as a bad rapper, or even a liar. You pushed past that line into something uglier. You got so desperate that you dragged entire groups of people, entire countries like India into your mess. You turned harmless fans into targets just to score some imaginary gotcha. And that's shameful, truly shameful. This is a disgusting new low, even for Drake. The fact that an artist at his level can push something like this out in the open is wild. In an era where people get furious over the smallest controversies, I'm shocked he hasn't faced more backlash for this. How has someone this big not been dragged for what he's doing? How has he not been held fully accountable? Because this isn't just petty, it's genuinely vile. And honestly, I'm not even angry at this point. When something gets this nasty, you don't scream about it. You just feel disappointed. Disappointed that someone could be this gross and still act like they're in the right. But of course, the Drake stans are already preparing their little vocal slop to wiggle out of accountability. They'll try to spin this, downplay it, claim it's all just about Kendrick, except it's not even close. Go online right now, look at the conversations happening. The door Drake cracked open has become a free pass for his fans to hate on entire groups of people just because he indirectly told them it's acceptable. And now you've got people from real countries, real communities, catching negative attention for absolutely nothing. The hive mind kicked in and suddenly it's open season on innocent people because the OVO fan base can't tell the difference between rap beef and real life. It's lame, beyond lame. If this stayed within rap, that would be a completely different story. But you used this moment to show who you are as human beings, and it's not pretty. You're targeting people for things they should never be mocked for. You're revealing exactly what kind of energy you operate with. And the funniest part, every time Drake fans debate Kendrick fans, they try to paint Kendrick as the villain, as someone who represents all the worst things. Meanwhile, look at Drake's track record. From that arrogant line in Family Matters to everything happening now, he's effectively given his fan base permission to go after an entire country of people just to manufacture a weak gotcha. And that says it all.
You know what's almost unbelievable? The way some of Drake's fans talk about people online is as if they're somehow above everyone else. They throw out insults, push weird memes, and act like basic decency doesn't exist anymore. And for what? To defend an artist who doesn't even step into half the mess they create. The wild part is how quickly some of them toss their morals aside the moment they see a chance to take a shot at Kendrick Lamar. Instead of talking about music or actual moments from the beef, they twist it into something hateful and personal. They drag fans from all around the world into the conversation, even when those fans didn't do anything except support their favorite artist. Yes, there are a few people doing strange things online, pretending to be who they're not, but most others are just regular listeners. Yet, they get thrown into the fire anyway. Seeing that happen really shows a lot. It exposes how some people behave when they think they have the upper hand. Meanwhile, Kendrick stays quiet, focused, working on music, and getting ready to bring his art to more people. His fans are chilling, watching everything unfold without needing to cross lines. But then you look over at the other side and you see this meltdown happening. The behavior is messy, bitter, and honestly just disappointing. It's the opposite of what winning looks like. So here's the real question. When you look at how both sides have acted, from the beginning until now, who do you think has been in the right? And who truly won this beef? Because no one who feels secure or victorious needs to behave in the kind of way we've seen from some of Drake's supporters. This whole situation really pulled the mask off. It showed how far certain people will go, what they're willing to say, and how quickly the conversation can turn ugly when desperation kicks in. Some people are out here twisting half-truths into some kind of groundbreaking discovery, trying to force a moment that just isn't there. And honestly, it's irresponsible. It drags down the whole discourse and makes it impossible to have any type of useful conversation. We'll see where it goes next. Maybe Drake will get more pushback, and honestly, it would make sense because the behavior surrounding him right now is something people should be calling out. But if you made it all the way to the end of this breakdown, thank you. I appreciate it every time. And if you want to keep watching, the situation with Childish Gambino is a whole other story. The things he said at Camp Flog Gnaw were wild, and might even have Drake thinking about taking him to court next. If that caught your attention, the next video has everything.